And her story from Infowars.com went viral. Dozens of newspapers picked it up. Anti-TSA activist, TSA agent groped my vagina is the headline. Woman complains of sexual molestation after frothing TSA opt-out protest. After fronting TSA opt-out protest. But the point is an activist who... I guess Watson wrote this. I guess that's a British way to say it. An activist who fronted a national TSA, kind of led a national TSA opt-out campaign last year, has released a video of a pat-down during which she accused the TSA agent of touching her. And now that video has gone viral and has been picked up, again, by New York Daily News, the Daily Mail, you name it. But she was then interviewed by several TV networks, and it never aired. And the point is if they can take your kids to a private room or take your kids and pull their shirt off or grab their groin or even go in your pants and then deny it or then say it's okay, and then Texas tries to pass a law saying you can't do it. Huffington Post covered it. Ashley Jessica, student activist, says she was violated during TSA pat-down in the video. They all picked it up. And then if they can normalize this, they can get away with it anywhere. The highways, the roads, you name it, and it's now starting. It's about government treating you that you're all suspects, you're all criminals. This is what prisoners have to be groped like this in medium and maximum security prisons. So this is turning everything into a giant prison with Walmart telescreens saying watch your neighbors. And so we take you now to Ashley Jessica. Ashley, thanks for coming on with us. What do you make of this becoming a big story? And then what do you make of CNN and others interviewing you but not airing it?
I'm completely in shock that this has become such a big story because of all of the other abuses that the TSA has engaged in over the past few years. You know, where was the mainstream media coverage when the TSA was humiliating cancer survivors or exposing people's breasts or, you know, puncturing people's urostomy bags? Like, why wasn't that completely blown up in the media? I feel like they are latching onto this. They're trying to make it seem like I've blown everything out of proportion. They're overstating the claims that I have made about this. All I said was that she touched my vagina. You can clearly see her hand make contact with that area in the video. After she does it, she says, I'm going to explain to you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go all the way up your leg until my hand meets resistance. It's going to hit first and then come back down. She's very vocal about what she's going to do. Basically, this is a pat down that happens quite frequently. This isn't anything out of the ordinary.
Oh no, I've witnessed people grab, you know, Jesse Ventura's genitals, and then even what really made him mad was go back, you know, into his gluteus maximus, and people say, oh, you ought to pay for that. It is a violation. If somebody did this to you in a park, they'd get 15 years in prison, but they're doing it to make sure there's not a bin Laden in your pants.
Exactly.
Ashley, is bin Laden hiding in your underwear?
No, he is not. They actually didn't find him during the search, shockingly enough.
Well, every criminal says they're innocent.
Right. And they haven't found any weapons in women's underwear, or anyone's underwear for that matter, with all of these grope downs and all of the enhanced security that's been implemented.
Have you ever gone through it where they're clearly enjoying it?
Last year in Virginia, I had a TSA agent who ordered me around like a prisoner. It seemed like she was enjoying the power of it all. She was the one who told me she's going to touch my behind over and over again until I don't flinch.
Oh, no, it's bizarre.
It's completely bizarre.
I mean, I had a guy pat me down, and I mean, he was just ready to go. I mean, it was smacking, talking to me in my purring voice, and I was just like, this is beyond bizarre. I mean, it's incredible.
It is. And I mean, these TSA agents, they were polite. But she still touched my vagina with her hand. So some people are saying, oh, you know, they were polite. You're making too big a deal of it. I don't care how polite you are. That is a violation.
Well, Miss USA said they went in her pants and in her body and broke down crying. They've had airline pilots till they revolted and said, we were allowed to fly the plane. We're going to do this to us. You know, their union said no, so they quit. They had guys having to go home and having to vomit because this is a form of rape. That's what it is.
It's completely out of control. I'm in shock that this is considered normal. to even have to be searched for if innocent people are being searched without probable cause, and we've headed into tyranny.
Well, listen, Jesse Ventura is a really nice, I've got to know him really well, but really aggressive guy. And, you know, a normal aggressive guy is not going to have some man putting his hand up. I mean, and Ventura's like, I'm leaving this country, East Germany. Because it's normal to not want someone to literally go in between your butt cheeks. I mean, I'm sorry to have to talk like this, but it's weird. I mean, it's weird.
It's bizarre. I mean, I've been getting so much support and so many people thanking me for doing this. But other people are saying, because I was filming the pat down, I was instigating it, I was looking for trouble, which is completely not true.
Well, it's a good thing you were wearing baggy pants. If you were wearing a skirt, they would have said you were asking to be raped.
I mean, yeah. People have said things like that before.
Don't wear lipstick, honey. You're the one asking for it.
Exactly. Saying I'm asking for attention by this. No, I had my camera rolling because last year in Virginia, as soon as my brother turned on his camera, everything changed. I was given a very respectful pat down on camera in which she didn't even come near my private parts. And she said, but when we opted out, she said, I just have to let you know that you're going to be given an extensive pat down, and I'm going to have to go all the way up your leg with my hand.
That's right.
Until the thigh meets the torso.
That's right. Go in a radiation machine, let us save the naked image, which they've been caught doing, or let me look inside your area.
Right. So, of course, after she said that, I'm going to want to film, and I'm going to want to warn them.
No, but see how you're even responding to the trolls? That's why the mainstream media is dying. Because they're attacking a woman, having her private parts grabbed, and everybody knows this is wrong. I had tried everything. I'd cut back the amount of food I was eating. I was lifting weights and jogging, but nothing was working. My body was literally starving for minerals and trace elements as well as key vitamins. And as soon as I had that, I immediately could eat half of what I was eating previously and be satisfied. Now, there are hundreds of great products at InfoWarsTeam.com, but I want to point out the 3 that have helped me lose 37 pounds in just 2 months. Products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and Rebound. When I started taking the Tangy Tangerine and other products every day, I lost more than 37 pounds in just 2 months. Now that's results. I want to challenge my listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com and to order just 3 of their products, and you will see the changes in the way you look, feel, and in your appetite almost immediately. Start your journey to health and wellness today. InfoWarsTeam.com. Going back to somebody who I just love the work she's been doing on so many issues, Ashley Jessica has helped lead the national opt-out demonstrations the last few years. That's what Watson means by fronting in his headline, fronting the national opt-out. And if they can get away with the TSA, they can get away with anything. Now, Ashley, I've been throwing out some of the points here. Your YouTube is youtube.com/user/Miss Ashley Jessica.
Yes.
And your Twitter is Ashley Jessica. So twitter.com/Ashley Jessica. But what are points you think are important to get across here?
First of all, one thing I want to say is that, you know, sometimes they only just have the metal detector line open, and they shuffle people through that. People go through, you know, no problems, and then suddenly they decide certain people need to go through the scanner. And if they don't go through the scanner or get patted down, they're suddenly a security risk. It's a completely arbitrary process. It's nothing more than security theater. It's just completely out of control. The main point is that we cannot normalize this type of treatment. There is no excuse for people to be putting their hands anywhere near someone's private areas in the name of protecting national security.
Well, it makes you all guilty now. Again, it's prisoner training, and the government runs Al-Qaeda now. You know, I'm thinking about a national demonstration with a fact sheet with mainstream headlines about the government funding Al-Qaeda, running Al-Qaeda, protecting Al-Qaeda, and then hand those out at the airports. Like you've done. You've led protests handing out info at the airport.
Exactly. I handed out flyers about the health risks associated with the body scanners. Some people think now that because the backscatter scanners are going to be phased out, that the millimeter scanners are safe. And the TSA tells everyone. She told me she's required to tell me that it gives off less radiation than a cell phone. But in fact, it has never been independently certified as safe for anybody. And the independent research shows that the terahertz radio waves can unzip DNA. So that doesn't sound too comforting to me. I don't want a chance going through that.
And again, remember 4 years ago when I started really focusing on this and Drudge started posting the articles almost every week or sometimes every day, and it became a big national story, they would say, we're not groping anybody. We don't take old people in private rooms and strip them. We don't make old people get out of wheelchairs that can't walk. And then which video after video showing how they're liars. It is a criminal takeover.
Yeah. And I get emails from people who are rape survivors telling me that they're afraid to go to the airport because they don't want to be touched like that. Imagine how triggering and re-traumatizing that can be for someone who is a victim of sexual assault.
They've had top psychologists say it's training little kids to be touched. Many anthropologists and archaeologists believe that before man even discovered the power to harness and use fire, we were involved in agrarian activities. That is, taking the seeds of plants and then replanting them to produce more. The very foundation of our modern civilization and human culture is centered around the planting and cultivation of edible plants, fruits, vegetables, nuts, you name it. And the globalists have been going after gardening. They've been harassing people that have gardens in their front yards or their backyards. They've called for licenses for people to have gardens because you can't trust prisoners in the police state America to be able to grow their own food. That's why I've come to the realization that we need to become self-sufficient. You need to be informed. You need to have the Second Amendment to protect yourself. You need to be politically active to wake up others. You need to filter your water. But you also need to plant a garden. Even if you live in an apartment, you can do this. If you live in the countryside, obviously you can do it on a grand scale. There are so many green belts and areas that humans don't even visit, nearby cities and in suburbs, where people are now more and more planting their own little private gardens and meadows and off the side of the road. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a revolutionary act to unplug from the television, to unplug from the computer and all the globalist propaganda, and to go out in your backyard or your front yard or planters at your apartment or on the roof of the building where you live, and to plant a garden.
Here are some of the amazing deals at Infowars Seed Center at InfowarsShop.com. The Survival Seed Vault by My Patriot Supply features only the finest survival heirloom seeds for a robust and hardy garden, even in the toughest of times. The ARC All-in-One Seed Kit contains 70 varieties of 50,000 seeds of fruits, vegetables, medicinal, and culinary herbs. All ARC seeds are heirloom. Each type is labeled and sealed separately for ease of use and longevity. The Deluxe Emergency Seed Bank combines 3 of Emergency Seed Bank's top sellers: the Family Survival Emergency Seed Bank, the Medicinal Herb Seeds Pack, and the Culinary Herb Seeds Pack. We also have starter varieties of the deluxe seed packages for fruit, salad, salsa, peppers, and medicinal herbs and more. Go to the Infowars Seed Center at InfowarsShop.com.
A little seed can grow a huge tree that produces fruit for up to 50 years. We have the best life bombs. That's what these are. We have the best weapons against death out there at the lowest prices, waiting for you to lovingly plant them and lovingly grow them and lovingly eat them and share them with others. We will strike back against the New World Order, and this is only one more initiative in our fight against them. So please join us at InfowarsShop.com, or you can link through at Infowars.com at the Infowars Seed Center. All right, if you just joined us, we're into the second hour. Ashley Jessica does just some auxiliary reporting for Infowars.com. She's going to be at Bilderberg this year. She's led national opt-out demonstrations, handed out radiation warning info to people at the airports, done just a great job across the board. And she got groped, and her friend at the Atlanta airport, and videotaped it. And she's not supposed to videotape that. You know, that shows that, you know, I mean, how dare her not want to have her private parts touched? And this is all part of, you know, dominating the public. But get into the media that did interview you, because this has become a national story. It's been, I don't know, over 15 papers. But you talked to CNN and others, and they never aired the interviews.
No, well, I talked to CNN. They were doing a phone type of interview. They were taking notes on what I was saying. And then I started telling them the facts about the body scanners and how the TSA has never caught a terrorist, you know, just laying out all the facts. And then they said to me they weren't sure if they were going to use the story anymore because they had extreme weather that came up that they need to report on. I don't know.
Yeah, they always say something else happened, like kind of when they're having the IRS hearings, they cut to a video from the day before with Anderson Cooper talking about gangs. And then as Watson was telling me about all this, you also got interviewed by some other national TV?
Yeah, I was interviewed by Inside Edition. I did a Skype interview with them, but it never aired. I was saying in the Skype interview, I said, you know, we all need to opt out of the body scanner. We all need to film our pat downs and hold the TSA accountable and reassert our rights. That was one of the main points that I had said in that interview.
Well, look, the good news is you did videotape it, so now there's exposure on it because they don't want this even discussed. I mean, as I said before we went to break, remember 4 years ago, 3 years ago, even 2 years ago, they would deny any of this was even going on.
Exactly. And now people are saying, like, you know, the trolls, they're saying, like, no, you know, this is for our safety. This is normal now. You have to get your privates touched.
Well, it's obvious. I mean, a lot of the trolls are just government-paid minions, or they're people so invested in the system, they're going to make excuses no matter what happens.
Exactly. But good thing the liberty lovers are supporting and bringing attention to this. And, you know, there's been a back and forth in the comments on my video. Lots of Infowars supporters, you know, laying down the facts and exposing everything. So that's great.
I mean, there she went on the video, pal, right up there in the junk. And, yeah. I mean, look, I mean, even with your wife or your girlfriend, if they're, you know, they're not in the mood and you just reach over and grab them, they're not going to like it. I mean, this is a stranger doing it. How have we gotten this far down the road here?
I have no idea. And, you know, even when she came to my breast area, when she moved her hand towards me, my natural instinct, if a stranger is moving their hand toward that area, is to move back. You know, that's normal. If someone came up to you or to me in the street and did that, I wouldn't be so polite, you know?
Well, they go to jail. I mean, exactly. If somebody walked over and grabbed my crotch, they're going to get punched in the nose.
Right. That's a normal reaction. It seems people have habituated to this. They've been completely pacified and brainwashed. I can't even, it still blows my mind. I can't even figure it out.
Well, by the way, Rob Dews saw this happen and even got some of it on tape. We got back from a talker speech I gave, the keynote address in New York a few years ago, and this guy walks up, big, mean-looking prison guy, and it says, you know, hello, Mr. Jones, and then grabs both of my pectorals and tries to do a, you know, twister, and it was excruciating, but I knew it was a setup, and then called the police, and they put him in handcuffs and were going to arrest him. And then I went, you know, this is a setup. I said, you know, just know I could have sent you to jail, and I left. But they wanted me to get in a fight. I mean, I mean, it's kind of like what they kind of stuff they did to Garrison in airports and things. I've got to really watch my back, so folks, pray for us. I'll see you at Bilderberg. You are going, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, look forward to your reporting for Infowars.com there. Very, very exciting. Ashley, Jessica, look forward to meeting you in person. Thank you so much, and good job getting this report out and standing up to the abuse they engaged in. Thank you so much. We'll be back with a bunch of other news, folks. Stay with us. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.